Look at you, strawberry milkshake. Let's go through an interesting observation. In previous crypto bear markets, most believed that there would never be a bull market again. That is what the common man, woman, and duck was thinking. They said, it's over. It'll never come back ever again. You know what happened? There was a bull market every time. You were compensated for being a bull. Contrarian to the paper hand crowd. You know, before we even go through this, I can just say these words. I want to show you what it actually means. In Bitcoin, there was a bear market here. How much did it go to the next cycle? Top 600x. I already have it here drawn for you. Do you see that? Juicy. Everyone said, it's never going to be a bull market again. Now, back here, no one even knew it was a bull market. No one even knew the word or the terms. But it came. If you just had blind faith, you win. What about what comes next? What comes next was the Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle. Mt. Gox goes down. From the bottom, this is Bitcoin, to the top, 120x. Let's just write 100x. You see this diminished return. But I want you to know, down here, yeah, nobody believed there would ever be a recovery ever again. Mt. Gox was 80% of the world Bitcoin volume. Ladies and gentlemen, how about that for destruction? And then we went, zoop, up only. What about the cycle after that? This is where I come in, wearing fluffy slippers in this yellow box. Everyone said, there's never going to be a bull market again. I heard it. I was here. Now, I was full of life and love and bananas. I thought, of course, there's going to be another bull market. I haven't even done any research. And I realized everybody was charting on a linear chart and no one had any faith. I don't blame them. Death and destruction everywhere. Everybody saw the coins, the altcoins, go absolutely poop, minus 99%. But what happened? Another bull market came. Now, this is where it gets a bit harsh. See, we had the zombie virus and then we did the money printing scenario. So with the zombie virus, I was hoping people were in doubt of the bull market happening again. I was hoping that in our bear market down here, I was hoping people would genuinely believe on average there'd never be a bull market again. I was hoping that they would say, hey, the bull market only happened because of the zombie virus. That's what I was hoping. You're probably asking why, and that's because the crowd's always wrong. On average, the crowd's always wrong. So down in this zone, yes, they increased the money supply, they printed plus 40%. Yes, they did the dilution of all the fiat. We pumped. They handed out the money checks to everybody. So I was praying, please, everybody, give up on this idea of a bull market. There was a lot of depression, but they did not give up on the bull market. I'll tell you right now. Now, put down that water pistol because I'm telling you, I'm wearing my fluffy slippers right now and I wanted them to give up on the bull market. I don't want them to think or smell a bull market because that means we would get sick moon gains, pumpamental green gains in the next cycle. This is an interesting observation, but it's the truth. Never did you get everybody believing at the bottom. Nowhere. And you were rewarded many riches. You got a huge cycle here. You got a huge cycle here. You got less than a huge cycle here, but you still got something. You're in the right coins. Now, what's going to happen? So when we look at this from perspective of the crowd, it's very unfortunate, and we have to remember that we have rose-colored lenses. That's what we want. That's what we have. Actually, we don't want that. You take that back. We don't want that at all. We have that by default. There's nothing we can control because we understand the whole system. We're in the game. We're used to the volatility, even though it sucks. We're used to it. But don't forget, in our bear market, everyone is so sure of another bull market. I mean, you already know right now, we've barely recovered. There's so many coins that are still more than minus 90% down. That's disgusting. That's inexcusably disgusting. And people are already talking about bull markets coming. It's going to come. It's going to come. Now, what I want to tell you is that everything's going to be okay. You see, if you're a retailer and if you're new to the game, you will incorrectly assume that if people are bullish now, that is a sign of strength that we're going to go up more. No, that is not the case. Unfortunately, what it means is a lot of the sidelined money who would buy in the future once they got confirmation of a bull, they are already in. This is bad. That means our total return is less. So another way I can describe it is, let's say there was actually you. We can let's get some people here, right? Let's get some people. We've got 5 guys here, all right? And here's you. So the optimal case is you with your cute little beard here. You want to be the only bull, and everybody else is on the sidelines. If you are the only bull, the price reflected in the market is minus 90%. Whatever it is. Now, it doesn't matter. Every coin's different. Minus 90, minus 99, whatever matter. It doesn't even matter. What you want then is you to sit there by yourself, and then time passes, and then you want the next 4 guys to come in and price in the market higher. This is what actually happened in the previous bears. This is what happened. Down here, there was only one bullish person, and then everybody comes at the very end. See, actually lines up. It's funny enough. The 4 people come at the end. Even here, same thing. Look at this. You were only the person long here. This is where Da Vinci and Richard Hart were long, for example. And then everybody comes at the very end. Do you see this vertical line? Look what everybody comes. This is what you want, but it's not in our control. We can't even control this. This has also kind of happened here too. I mean, this did happen in the last cycle. No one believed in another bull market ever again. I specifically remember people saying that Bitcoin by the end of 2030 would be about $25,000. And you're laughing at this. No, this was the genuine belief. People genuinely believed that because I was looking at a big fat linear chart and there was nothing that was innovative in the cryptocurrency industry. We don't have this same environment anymore. As much as I want to tell you we do, we don't. This is just the truth. And most people are going to be in denial and not believe it. We don't have this anymore, friends. You see these 4 people who might come in the future? Yeah. It's more like this. I'm not even joking. It's more like there's someone with you here, and then it's about like this. This is probably what's going to be like. Do you see this? This is a different scatter. So effectively, you would be at your price by yourself in every other circumstance, every other bear market, but not this one. The cryptocurrency industry has now grown. So it's now you and you got a friend here with you. And you, by the way, you already know this. Like, you know there's a couple of people around left. Yes, there was total annihilation and destruction, but look how fast everybody's just come back in. So this doesn't mean that the gains are completely gone, but it's just telling you that things are morphing now. This is my guess here. I believe around the Bitcoin halvening, this is why we have a chance of a trap, by the way. This is why we have a chance of a trap, because when you have this many people, see this guy, there's going to be people who come in around the Bitcoin halvening, and this is very unfortunate because these people know. People are going to come in, they go, oh, there's been 3 cycles before, and every time there's a Bitcoin halvening, there's a big green year the year after, so I'm going to get in. That's why there's a chance that we kind of have a left translated cycle. I know Sir Uncle Bobby Lucas has said that it's not going to happen, but hey, I don't want to take any chances, friends. Look what happened in the last Look what happened in the last cycle. Look at all your favorite coins. They are obliterated beyond imagination. No amount of lockups, no amount of VC shilling, no amount of anything could save you. You're absolutely destroyed. The right thing to do was to sell at any time here for any reason. That was the actual right thing to do. You get to buy back all the believers' bags 3 times the size minimum, no matter where you sold. Even if you sold at minus 80% of your coin from the top, they all went minus 90% anyway. How pathetic is that? That's very sad. But this is just the game. That's what's happened. Do you want to take that risk in the next one? So now we have more people who are going to come in. So actually, if we were to draw this, it's going to be more like this probably. It's going to be, let's go back, right? Remember, this used to be just you. This used to just be me and you. We're outsiders hanging around, and the next 4 people would come in throughout the bull. Now, we've got like 2 to 3 people. We've got the stock market boomers who are holding on Bitcoin and Ethereum. You have people who are more institutional. You have people who have learned the game. They're coming in for the casino. They are still here. And you know they're still here. Now, they're not making money, but they're still here. That's the important part. Because what you've actually noticed is the market gives a value to people who are just kind of hanging around the network effect. That's a crazy thing. And it's the truth. So how do we play this? Well, one, we've got to accept it's outside of our control. But two, we also got to be completely in touch with reality. Most people are so sure of the next bull. They are so sure. So this is why I'm believing the next cycle can be a big scam. Maybe the next cycle breaks in underwhelms again. And then maybe the next cycle has a dip and then we actually break the cycle after that. Maybe we make new highs into 2028. The never before seen, where Bitcoin has to reclaim territory and makes a new all-time high in a Bitcoin halving year where the cycle finally breaks. So why I believe this cycle would happen is just, it's because there's just too many people in. I've known this in markets from the very, very start. When too many people are opening their mouths and they're so confident of one thing, they're going to get destroyed. I don't want to ignore this information. That's why I'm here as a vessel to show it for you. I'm here displaying it for you. This is a competitive edge. You get to plan it from now. You can't do your planning up here. You can't. You can't go back in time and add bullets. You have no opportunity to do that. You're going to get more ants in your pants up here. You're going to keep your posture straight and you're going to have your fluffy slippers on. But you know these people coming in, they're going to be weak anyway. But unfortunately, there used to be 80% weak people joining. Now there's only going to be like 40% because people stayed with you. Too many people stayed. And you can tell this is also reflected in the Bitcoin price. Look at this. Obviously, Bitcoin from the top only dropped 77, 78% from the top. If it went down and it really eradicated everybody, it would probably be down back to 9, 10K, 7K. It could have happened around there, but it didn't. So we have to use this information. So we know we're diminishing gains. We know more people are hanging around. We know everybody's expecting the bull. You know, back in the day, I used to think, hey, there's this chance too. What if everyone's expecting the bull, but we don't stop at the 100K everybody expects? What if we go up to the golden peanut zone up here? The golden peanut zone, anywhere from 200K to 500K Bitcoin. I want this scenario to happen more than you can possibly imagine. I haven't hunched my back once while recording this, but look, do you honestly think we're all going to win? Here's the thing. All right, I want you to know. When has there ever been a cycle I showed you where everybody won? There wasn't. There wasn't. In fact, you know, if you do this cycle, if you do this very, very first one, friends, Bitcoin's return was 26,000x. Have a look at that. Let's just write 20,000x. Let's round it down. All right. 20,000x. Look what happens in the next cycle. Everybody's thinking about that 20,000x. What happens? 600x. You're like, oh man, underwhelming, not even 1,000x. This is the collective mindset of everybody. And then Mt. Gox cycle, now what happens? Everybody's anchoring to 600x. What happens? 100x. You're like, what the hell, man? What about the next cycle? You know where it's going. Everybody was anchoring to 100x. You know what's sad? We were already expecting a diminishing return of 30x. This is the sad part. What did we get? We got even less than that. You got your 20x. Let's write it down. That broke my heart. So we were already expecting diminishing, and we got even less than diminishing. Instead of 30, you got 20. Sad. What's the next one going to be? What's everyone expecting now? Maybe, this is not even maybe, this is the crazy part. I think everyone's going to think, hey, maybe we hit 100K for sure. That's what everybody thinks in their mind. That's like a 6, 7x. That's what everyone expects. What if we only hit like a 5? Maybe that's what happens. If you do a 400% from the very low, you get about 78K. Let's just give it a bit of juice. 80K, yeah, about 5x. Now you're starting to see why people stay in many cycles in crypto, but they don't make it. This is why. It's because in every cycle, in every iteration, there are people with stories forged, who say, oh, I put in $100 into this and I went 1,000x. And then the next cycle, it was, I put in $1,000 everywhere and I went 100x, 1,000x. And then in the next cycle, it's now I put in $10,000. By the way, these numbers are real, okay? From $100, $1,000, $10,000. You see that? Everybody at $10,000. Because people were saying that, oh, you just need one Bitcoin to retire. And the average price of Bitcoin was $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 around there. You just need one Bitcoin to retire. It's going to go up. Look what happened. Now, no one's putting, everybody knows now. You're not retiring anything with 10K. Not even close. Now people are coming in. I already know there are a lot of people with 50K clips everywhere. Everywhere I see people putting in more and more and more of their savings. This is all in Bitcoin, in Ethereum. Don't worry about these altcoins. A lot of people are still too scared to put considerable amounts there. So that's why I do believe there is a utopia scenario in many of the alts, just because everybody expects them to never, ever, ever come back in the strong ones. So now you've seen the game. Now you actually see why, what's actually happening. Well, there's just too many people who believe this will translate to less gains. You know what's even going to be more tough? If we get the Bitcoin spot ETF. Because if the Bitcoin spot ETF comes on that dip, oh man, who's ever going to tell you that Bitcoin's going to go to zero now? They'll tell you it's going to be trash for 5 or 10 years, but they're not going to tell you it's going to go to zero. Everybody's going to be a believer because you have literally a DCA, dollar cost average permabid from mum and dad retailers who want to put their 401k or superannuation into it. And now you've seen that this is a life cycle, everything, and now you're too late. It's just too late. The gains are gone. The best gains are gone. We started from here with $100, 1,000, 10,000. Now we're talking about 50K, 100K plus clips. Way too big for the average person. Now you get to see the game, friends. There are too many people who believe. Look, I hope we get into this golden peanut zone. But what if we don't? What do you think is more likely? Everybody wins or everybody gets scammed? Well, I can tell you right now, from first-hand evidence and experience in markets, it's the everybody gets scammed scenario. That's the most common scenario. In fact, that's always the scenario. Everybody gets scammed on average. So that's what I see happening. I hope it changes. I really hope it does. And people are going to say, hey, what about money printing? They're going to cut rates. They're going to throw all these macro stuff's going to come. Yes, by the way, this scam target, this includes money printing. This includes them cutting rates back down to 2 or 3%. This includes them printing even more money. It does include that already. This is not a vacuum. It's all priced in. So now the choice is up to you. What do you want to do? What I really like, we still have an edge. You see this golden zone of friendship here? Everybody wants Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's what I love. This tells me we can still win. Every single person wants Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's how I know they are going to do an enormous bull trap up the top, and altcoins are going to fly higher than you think. Unfortunately, many of the altcoins, you're going to realize they can't disconnect from Bitcoin and Ethereum. But hey, at least you had a fighting chance. And I hope you're also fighting for our friendship. Tell mum and dad, one day we're going to make it to the golden peanut zone. Like, subscribe, bell button, or catch you in the next one.